I'm trying to work out if this is a metaphor for this channel's contents. I'll let you be the judge of that. Because this video kind of would be loosely termed best laid plans and all that, because two things really. A, my regular viewer will know that this video should be on this, because that was what was promised in the last video. And the other plan was to follow that video up with a report on the Festival of the Unexceptional and some driving impressions of the 1997 Toyota Camry. Doesn't she look great? God, I love this car. But that's not going to happen. Well, that's not going to happen because it's going to happen on Wednesday. But eagle-eyed viewers will notice that the exhaust is no longer dragging its arse on the floor and the front wheels are on. So that must mean there's positivity. Mustn't it? Answers to be revealed. But I went to the Haggerty Festival of the Unexceptional on Saturday. As you remember, the Camry was a late substitute for the cracked windscreen Renault Safran. And yes, as someone's commented, I possibly could have made it with the cracked windscreen. It may not have got any worse, but you know what? It's not worth the risk. But no, cutting the long story short, which is difficult for me because I digress too often, I was going to do a report on Haggerty, on the event. I was going to do here's the car, and these are the best bits of the show. It's not going to happen because within an hour of getting there, my son, who came up for the ride, he of the Range Rover P38 fame. Fame's not the right word, is it? He's got the Range Rover P38. He came up because he wanted to see some more Unexceptional cars, and he was very excited when he saw a P38 within 10 minutes of arriving. He got ill within an hour, so I had to sort of cut my losses and head for home. And because you've got a 4.5 hour, 5 hour drive, you just got to just leave really. So didn't get a chance to see many people, or as many people as I wanted to. I did get a chance to catch up with David of Lobster Diecast fame and his lovely Twingo. David, it was good to chat. I'm sorry it was all too brief. Same with you, Keith W.R. Jones. It was too brief. And it was good to see Adam Sloman. I saw him as well. And that's pretty much all I saw. Although I did see Darren and Alistair Leslie. Darren came up in his Audi 80. Both are club members. And that's all I managed to see, which is annoying because I had promised to meet up with Tom Wilshire and Alan Bradley to give them their Club PetrolBlog stickers following the email that went out to existing club members on Friday. But no, there won't be a walkthrough of the event. And if you want one, I'd probably go and recommend Hubnut's walkthrough, which is superb as always. Thank you for the mention, Ian. Much appreciated. Also, Furious Driving is very good, although he did gloss over the Camry completely because it is the most anonymous car at the event. It was the most anonymous car at the event. I haven't seen Steph Holloway's review yet. I don't even know if it's gone live, but I'm sure that'll be really good as well. So go and check out those reviews of the event. So I will put some photos over the top of some of the cars I did manage to take a photograph of. But you know what? I didn't even get to see the Concours event because it just left, which is nuts, isn't it? So I spent 12 hours in the car and only 2.5 hours at the event. Hey, you do these things, don't you? And actually, it was really nice to spend some time with my son and also spend lots of quality time in the Camry. So I'm no complaints from this end. So I did manage to create one video, which was the video stuck in the traffic jam for an hour and a half, which I will drop in around about now. So this is this is one of many queues for the Festival of the Unexceptional. We've been here half an hour now, and Waze is saying we've got another half an hour to go, and it's barely moving. And you just know that classic cars, there's going to be lots of overheating, lots of breakdowns. There's people pumping up tyres on the move. There's people polishing their cars up ahead, which is bizarre and quite odd. I'm going to show you some of the cars on the traffic jam. If you look down there, there's an Austin Ambassador, which is exceptional. And there's a Chris Pollitt of Not Too Grand fame in his ZX. I had a coffee with Chris earlier on. He's a thoroughly nice chap. He's just got his bonnet up, which is always a concern. There's an Escort, there's a MGB, I mean, there's a lot of cars down there, a lot of unexceptional cars. There's a Citroen BX with a bonnet up, which again is a concern. Obviously the Camry, touchwood, is running like a sewing machine. Been fantastic. Up at 3:45 this morning to make it. So basically to come up here to sit in a traffic jam, it's nuts. Caravans, MX-5, some weird Kia thing, and a Zafira. So yeah, I was kind of thinking about doing a video, and there's nothing else to do, so just do a lot. I like to call it a live video. I'll probably upload this at some point. But the Camry has been absolutely brilliant, by the way, absolutely superb on the motorways. Just the kind of car it's designed for. Not so good on the B roads around Melton Mowbray and stuff, but yeah, this is great. It's just moving now, so you never know, we might move a couple of yards. And then you've seen that video now, so that's pretty much the only footage I took other than a short video of the Camry at the event, if only to prove that it was there. I managed to park next to a guy called Sam in his Porsche 924, who we hooked up with around about on the M69 between Coventry and Leicester. And we had a great drive up with him. Originally I was being followed by Chris Pollitt, because just after we left Gloucester Services, just in the distance we saw a lovely Citroen ZX, the unmistakable sight of a Citroen ZX. So I pulled up alongside Chris Pollitt, gave him a cheery wave, and he tucked in behind me, and I think he was pleased to have something reliable to follow, to go have some sort of reassurance. So I had a quick coffee with Chris, and I never saw him again because I lost him at on the M6 because I took the wrong turning because I'm an idiot. You all know Chris because his channel's a lot bigger than mine, and he's editor of Car and Classics. So if you follow me, you almost certainly follow him. Top geezer. So all that's left to say really is, how did the Camry do? I will point out that actually she looked quite scabby at the event. It's ruster interaction, and look at the scratches there, and the rust is getting worse on the bottom of the doors. And she wasn't by no means the best car on show, probably in the bottom 10 probably. And actually, I was washing her on Friday night, ready for the event, and the lacquer peel was getting horrendous. This is all basically matte now, so that's going to need sorting out soon. But to drive, she was just outstanding, actually. I've just written a blog post on it because I just think she's an amazing car. The V6 is so machine efficient and quiet when you're idling or when you're on the motorway. Makes a lovely sound when you're accelerating or trying to overtake. It's just a brilliant sound. And it's quick. I mean, the auto box does sort of restrain the power to a certain extent, but it is properly quick. Certainly quick enough to keep up with the modern turbo diesels, the Golfs and the BMWs, and that's all I need really. And I got 25 mpg, which isn't great in the world of 40 to 50 miles per gallon turbocharged petrol engines, but I can live with that because it's not a daily driver. And yeah, she is getting scabby around the edges, but even though the wheels aren't in the best shape, they haven't lost any air since I put the tyres on in January 2019, which shows that although they might look scabby, they're in good nick. So I'm very tempted now just to kind of bring her up to standard and just spend the money on cosmetics because she deserves it. And I just think she's always going to be the reliable member of the fleet. There's a lot to be said for that, As you might look at that interior, as Richard Lyle said, it's Werther's original beige, but I love it. I do love it, and it's so light and airy in here. You don't even need a sunroof open, and it's so light and airy. I do say an awful lot. I reckon if I had £1 for every I'd have at least £67. I've just been talking to Darren Walker of Free Pine Chips fame, and we were talking about the spec differences on just in the UK and the US, and this is a source of envy apparently for US Camry owners, kind of double hi-fi unit and the climate control. And although the fan isn't working, although the fan is just single speed, it is blowing ice cold air, which is brilliant. That's all I really want. It keeps the windows clean, it keeps us cool. And we had Spotify playing through the wonders of the common old trick of tape in the tape player and plugging the phone into a socket, and it was brilliant. The sound quality is outstanding. You know, absolutely brilliant. No complaints at all. Double cup holder, so we had drinks in here all the way there and back. I really couldn't ask any more from this car. We passed 125,000 miles just after leaving. We've now done 125,534. It's just a fabulous car. You know, it's not unexceptional in the sense of the event, but it's just an exceptionally good car for the money I paid for it. And it's, like I said in the previous video, I'd have to really think before I sold this car. I absolutely love it. And of course I didn't use the mats. So the mats went for a lovely trip all the way to Lincolnshire and back without being used, which is great. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I even wrote some notes because I always forget stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. So the next video will be on that. Hand on heart. Promise, promise, promise. Then it will be time to get the Mercedes out and prep her for an MOT. Then it'll be time to get her prepped for an MOT. And then we'll recommence work on the Safran, the red Safran, as well as starting work on the Corrado. So things are going to happen. We're going to have lots of video updates over the coming weeks and months. That's it. Do check out Free Pie and Chips content. If you like this stuff, you'll love his stuff because it's better than mine. And he's got a good eclectic mix of cars over there in Ohio. And obviously do check out Chris Pollitt's stuff because I think the bloke's done really, really well for himself. What he's done with Car and Classic is incredible. That's it. I'm going to go now because I haven't had my tea. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.